And speaking of Game of Thrones stuff going on, how appropriate, because we told you as much as we can, we're going to do these recaps because we're in season 8, the final season. In the dream, did I say, come get a share at dtmerch.com?
No,
you know,
no, nothing
Martin,
like that.
you know what? That's a dream come true right there. You know what? When you're dreaming about that classic Black Tuesday Way logo.
well, when am I not?
Did you dream about the hoodies? You know, go ahead and get in that baby T right there. You know, I have a dream, just like Martin Luther King did one day, man, that every child in the world can experience the toasty goodness all over their body. And yeah, I meant it like that. And you know something, you can help that make that dream come true by subscribing to doubletoasted.com, donating something to keep these live streams going. Maybe we can finally get Martin to shut up when the doors open at 6 at the Adelaide Hall. The show starts at 7 p.m. Maybe I can get Martin
I'll really
to
shut up then.
Yeah, Martin, will you get off my ass if we do a full night of comedy, games, and music? Can it live up to what people want? What's in the box, boys? Got DJ Miles over here. Christian Torres.
That's it. You nailed it, man.
All right.
You got
I'm
it.
very, very bad with names.
No, you nailed that, man. Your pronunciation was good and everything, man.
Okay,
You part
well-
Spanish? What's up?
Well, you know what? Don't get used to that because I'm going to mess up all these names.
I'm
this
not
show.
good at it either, man. Don't worry.
The thing that's really cool right now with Game of Thrones is that through all of the murder and deceit and lying and incest and, you know, just the bullshit, we have learned that the real thing that's happened with Game of Thrones, the real enemy that's out there has been, as they said, an enemy that knows nothing except death. And speaking of which, don't die very easy. The White Walkers.
Right.
And even though they got cold death looking them in the face, these people still can't get their shit together. They are still bringing this petty stuff with them, still bringing the old shit. It is, and I don't know, for some people that might be a situation where has it turned into more of a soap opera than the show that we knew before, you know, the drama that we knew before. Just before we elaborate too much, let me just ask you real quickly, both of you, did you like the premiere?
I liked 70% of the premiere, but I had some issues with it.
What about you, DJ Mom?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Let's do some details. For one, it did come back to at least some form of Game of Thrones that everybody knows about. Nothing I can show here, but they got right into some titties, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sex
Yeah,
position
right
was
away.
in full swing.
That ass was, you know, and it's what a lot of people are complaining about, you know, but Game of Thrones, we don't care. It's our last season. We going out, you know. But women stripped down.
Orgy party, yeah, I'm all about it.
Breast out, ass up. They did not waste any time with that. Also did not waste any time with, you know, the luxury of doing a lot of violence, you know, a lot of pretty much some gore. Got an axe to the head. So at least we have that there, you know, to satisfy people who love Game of Thrones on that level. Mm-hmm. Now let's get into why you say 70% of this is good and I guess 30% of it wasn't for you.
I mean, I think the larger problem is just kind of what you said, which is like, yo, this ain't the time, people. Like, the time to be petty and to still be arguing about this shit. Like, there's a couple scenes, right? But the one I'm thinking about is the one with Dany and Jon, where she's talking about, your sister doesn't like me. Like, she doesn't have to be my friend, but, you know, I'm her queen. If she can't learn to respect me, ... You're just like, come on, man.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, I definitely enjoyed a lot of the character interactions, you know, and I'm sure we'll deep dive into those in a second, right? Like Arya and Jon, and Sam and Jon, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
but
right.
You're right. I enjoyed the episode, but I'm here thinking, if I didn't live in the world of the internet, I know we have 5 episodes,
Right.
so how are we going to wrap this box up pretty quick, you know?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a lot they got to do, yeah.
While these people cannot get themselves together for something that is very serious out there, we love stir up shit though. But people love grudges.
Oh,
People,
yeah.
people love dirt. People love gossip, and this whole thing was about setting up nothing but grudges. The moment that Arya and the Hound walked up, and they were just mean mugging each other, that set up sort of the. I think it set up what to be expected with this show. I mean, while you're saying this is not the time, I mean, we're talking about an era. I mean, okay, I'm talking about like just real history, but
this happened, man.
yeah, but I mean, let's just say that some of this is taken from. I guess it's a fantasy, of course, but I'm sure they're taking it from a period where honor meant a lot, where respect meant a lot. For a lot of these people, that's all they have. So, for when we watch this and see all these things set up, which seems kind of messy, to me, it makes sense. I mean, it's not like they had an argument. I mean, this is, you kill people, that was close to me. You kill family. Right. We have long histories of, years and years of you coming in and not only disrespecting our name, but disrespecting it by taking loved ones away, valued members of our armies away. So does that make it? Do you see what I'm coming from?
Yeah, it makes sense. But all your loved ones that are still here are gonna die unless you get your shit together. And I think that's my point. It's like, so that scene where Jon is like having to explain himself to a 11-year-old. I know that she's the lady of House Mormont or whatever. But still, it's just
Lyanna,
like, there's no
Lyanna Mormont. Boy, she can talk some shit.
Yeah.
Whoever is her daddy, she's running him.
Right.
Go ahead though.
I mean, I'm just trying to make the point that it's like, I understand the idea of being proud, but you can't be. There's no North to rule over if the dead take over the fucking country. The North knows more than most, right? Because they're closest to the wall. They should know this shit.
But you know what? Also, you're right. Maybe they should know it. But also, you got to keep in mind that a lot of these people have not seen the White Walkers.
True.
If there's anyone who just listen, I'm the most practical one. Sansa just went through so much shit. So, of course, that's why I love that interaction with her and Tyrion, where she just like, wow, I thought you were smart. Like, you're trusting Cersei. Like, I know as the audience member, right? Like, we all know, come on, guys, get your shit together. But I can't really blame Sansa with where she's at. Even during this situation.
Her experience that she's had with people like Cersei. She knows what the Lannisters are capable of. I mean, a lot of people just know what human beings are capable of. They don't really know anything about these White Walkers, and that is why I think that the show is great, because we get into these situations where people. It might be messy, but and a lot of times people have a right to hold the grudges that they have. To be two really fine ass women, they showing a long dick measuring contest. Sansa and Daenerys, man, they need to. Somebody got to drop this,
right?
Now that's where, to me, and I don't mean to make it like it because it's, but they are being like women, man.
Well, dude, there was that scene where she straight up like looks at, you know what I'm saying, like sizes her fucking up, and I'm like, holy
it's
shit,
some
man.
petty shit that's going on. I mean, it was almost when they walked in the room, you just heard. It's like, okay, this is not about some kind of grudge. It's about who's gonna be Queen Bee up in here.
Right.
They fighting over a title.
Yeah, no, that's why I was more surprised Dany had that conversation with Jon anyway, to say like, hey, like your sister, like I am the queen at the end of the day. I'm like, excuse me, you saw one of your children die last season.
Right.
You think you can just ignore this petty shit right now?
And once I guess she didn't see, she saw them dragging them out, but the fact that they were able to pull out a big ass arrow and take one of your dragons down should let you know, calm your ass down, and y'all call a truce and let's work together. We'll do this fashion show shit after it's done. And even though she didn't see it, one of them said, "Look, who was it? Bronn or whatever said." Look, your dragon's a zombie now.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, can we just talk about like Bran being a creepy motherfucker who's just hanging out? Like any horror movie, they would have him silhouetted in fucking sunlight and just like standing there like Professor Xavier and shit. Every scene that they would cut to him, he was horrifying, man.
Oh yeah, no, he's pulling that demonic child shit.
Yeah. It's Damien, man.
Yeah, but that really worked great. I mean, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I love about and how do you say his name?
Who, Bran?
Bran, Bran.
The three-eyed raven.
And that what you say looking like Professor Xavier, yeah, man. Which, you know what? I love it because he always got he's got those white pupils. When he goes off and that shit, where he just and now it's just kind of permanent, and I like that he like that because this is not the look, it's in the episode, but I like he's been practicing that look for the days like when the day I meet Jamie again, I'm gonna creep him the fuck out because when Jamie walked by, and that's what I'm talking about with some of these grudges that's going on. I mean, we're going back to the first. Let me see if I can find it. We're going back to the first episode.
The things I do for love.
What the damn? To know that kid lived, and we've gone years without him, without Jamie knowing
Right.
that he was still alive. That to me, I didn't even think about what if they were reunited. Wasn't even on my mind.
Yeah.
So when it happened, I was like, oh shit, that's right. You know,
Right.
it's this is I think what you're saying, to the point that you're saying that, man, you guys need to get it together. I think that's what's going to be bringing people into the show. There's a pleasant dread inside of me seeing what they set up in one episode, the premiere episode. Here's a question for you. Some things that have been brought up, and it's probably the greatest question in the show.
Uh-oh.
Can Cersei be trusted? Hell no.
No, you can trust Cersei to be like mistrustful, right? Like you can trust her to be dishonest. That's the one thing you can count on.
Can she be trusted to at least bring herself together to like come together for this unification, where everybody has to defeat one big
Oh
enemy?
hell no, hard no.
I think Jamie might end up killing her because he's like, you know what? I just got to put you down because I need these people. Like, I don't know, but like, yeah, again, we got to wrap this stuff up. So, yeah, what's going to happen right there?
That was a big prediction that Jamie might have to kill her. He was given a crossbow. Was he given that crossbow in order to kill Jamie?
I think it was the kill Tyrion, right?
Tyrion. Oh, okay, that's what I missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either of them.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Traitorous brothers.
Traitorous brothers. Yeah. So whichever one of those fools you run across first,
Right.
run them through.
Yeah.
But that's cold-blooded, man, because I know that she's over here being ruthless and shit, but we always kind of felt that Jamie, she let Jamie go off. I didn't think that she would straight up try to kill
See,
Jamie.
that's where you're crazy. I didn't have at the moment she has no allegiance to anybody but Cersei.
Oh man.
No, hell no. This will either probably be why she will win the Game of Thrones, or this will be her biggest downfall. Her pride.
Right.
Yeah.
In her anger, her contempt for people who she sees as not even just a threat, but anybody who disrespects her. She's kind of a vindictive bitch like that.
Well, she rewarded that disrespect, man. Euron got to the queen in this episode.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah, no, I got something. You brought up a good point. Like, yeah, he got to have sex with the queen.
Right.
She's gonna kill his ass.
Oh, she's storing that away.
Yeah.
Trust me, he signed his death wish there.
His pride is he also, his two characters have a lot of pride. His comes out in a way more roguish way than hers. He's just nasty. And
I mean, he just flat out held her belly and just like, yeah, I'm gonna put a prince in you. Like,
You could see
what?
her visibly cringe when he said that.
yeah,
By the way.
not I say pride. No, he's cocky. She even said it. You're the cockiest person I've ever known. She's got pride. He's so cocky that he's stupid. She's so prideful that she's smart. And I think that between the both of them, I don't even know. I don't even know how this guy is alive as long as he's been, because he's just dumb, and she's gonna kill him. Do you think he'll be something that causes trouble because he will be on a tear after he's had a couple of his men killed in his pawn escape?
I think he's just and I could be wrong. He just seems like a ineffectual little twerp, man. I think he's just gonna be dispatched like a South Park murder, man. I do. I think they're just gonna snap dead. That's it. Move on, because it's not that important, man.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's not, but I don't think they're gonna pull a Dorne thing, right? Where season 6 ended on Dany has a whole Dorne army, right?
Yeah.
Now with Cersei with the whole Greyjoy fleet,
Right.
I think he's gonna do something catastrophic. Although he'll go out swinging, doing something that's gonna set some avalanche in motion.
Frank and Mountain go out swinging him.
Yeah.
Right. Was anybody else here just perplexed why Sam was so sad about his dad being killed by Danny. I mean, his dad was a piece of shit. He didn't even like him.
Right.
You know, and his brother was. They said his brother wasn't as bad, but his brother didn't really care either. You know.
I feel like I saw that scene a little bit different. Let me just tell you what I saw, which was like when they said his father, he seemed a little upset, but not that upset. It was this really subtle. I mean, this was kind of one of my favorite scenes because of how subtle the acting was. He was like, well, all right. Well, at least I can go back. You know what I mean? Fuck it, you know, silver linings. But and then they're like, your brother, and that's when he visibly gets
And that's
more
when he's like, God damn.
Yeah. So I think
Is
it was
my
more
mom
about
still
his brother.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, no, I
No,
thought
actually, mom too, sister too, uncle, auntie,
All
grandma.
of them. In fact, they were having a family reunion. I cooked them all.
Yeah, no, like an unexpected, conversation I didn't know I wanted until I saw it was that Danny
Right.
talking to Sam like, oh shit, yeah, she did
Well,
that
you
last
forgot
season.
that they were connected by that. You
Hey,
just
move up a
figured
little
John.
bit.
Oh,
I
right.
think- Oh, yeah. No, you good.
Sorry, man.
That's all right.
All right. Yeah, no, you're right. You forgot that they were connected by that thread, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what kind of got me. Was just like, oh shit! Like I didn't even
Yeah.
remember that until it got brought
There's
up.
a lot of things that you don't remember. But his brother, I don't think, again, I don't remember too well, but his brother really didn't care about him that much, right?
No, I think his brother was okay. He just didn't. He wasn't brave enough to stand up to his dad. You know what I mean? So that's its own betrayal.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm kind of with Christian on this. Although I feel like it was they didn't have the best relationship.
Mm-hmm.
There was just something really emotional where he was just like, "Well, it's still my family," type of thing. But more importantly, I think he's just more shocked knowing that like everything happening with John and Danny is like, okay, I got to drop this bomb. Not to mention, I'm finding out that Danny probably resembles a lot of stuff like her father, right? Although the audience, we know she's kind of 50-50 on that. Yeah.
Well, they love cooking kids on this show. We just gonna have a barbecue after a while. I mean, because we remember, I forgot her name, but
Shireen.
Sure, yeah, when she had to be sacrificed for nothing, at the time.
For the
when-
next episode. For
Yeah.
his whole arc to end.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
Exactly. In this episode, there's no child labor laws in this land. You can just send out any kid to get killed by anything, which happened here. We had the kid that was leading up. What was he leading up? He was leading up.
House Umber.
Yeah, and they were quick to send his little ass out. You know he's gonna die.
Right.
He's like, we went by horror movie logic at that point. They're like, yeah, he's going out there. He's like, yeah, I'll be right back. And what happened? We see him hanging on a wall. I guess a sword or a spike through him or something. And since he was killed by White Walkers, of course, he comes back, and which promptly they set his ass on fire.
Right. Which was kind of funny, man. I know it wasn't supposed to be, but I laughed my ass off. You were next to me, and you were judging the shit out of me, man.
No, I was laughing.
Oh, you were
too.
with me? Okay.
No, I was
yeah.
because if we're talking about horror movies, because because everybody in the room jumped because everybody was like, oh, poor kid, and then he's like, everybody kill that mother.
Yeah, I kind of felt like they broke the tension a little awkwardly with that yeep
Right.
type of yelp, scream. Yeah.
It was like the thing, man. It reminded
really
me
was.
of the
Because even when they burned him, I did feel kind of bad, but I was like, but he's not human anymore because they built him. He was all like,
Like, what are all these symbols meaning? Like, I wonder if that's actually a question we'll even get the answer to.
yeah.
Yeah, I've always thought the answer's kind of irrelevant. I just think the idea that they're organized or they're smart enough to have symbols, have like their own gods and shit like that, makes it scary because they're not just like these animals that are killing indiscriminately with no reason. Like they obviously are more organized and have like more cognitive abilities, and I think that just makes it scary on its own.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I mean, you can argue that they're just zombies, but no, they're cold killers, man.
Right. Literally cold.
Yeah,
killers.
no pun. God,
Sorry, Martin's not here. I had to do it. I'm sorry.
no pun intended, but it happened anyway. Little things here in the show, as far as like from a technical standpoint, really love the stuff with the dragons.
Right.
The effect has always been great. Take away from that, riding dragons looks scary as hell and uncomfortable. I mean,
Right.
that's not one moment I thought there was not a spike sticking up Jon Snow's
Snow's
ass
ass.
when he was riding that.
Drogon was pegging the out of Jon Snow.
Yeah.
And Jon Snow didn't seem to mind. So I guess, whatever's good in Westeros.
Like they think that they're about to get busy and have some privacy. They're gonna go off and have some sex. And the dragons, one dragon just kind of like, and one dragon's like, yeah. He's like, I love to watch. And I was expecting other dragons like, come on, man, cut that out. We've had the dogs in the room when my wife and I have gotten busy before, and the oldest one just loves.
This.
Yeah. Oh,
Just like this,
Oh, it ain't
right?
even like that. No, he jumps on the bed and finds he pulls up the sheets in a pile and just goes to town on himself. So you know, so I thought it'd be cool.
Mojo or Pixie?
Mojo.
Oh, Mojo. No.
Pixie just kind of like, you heard my mama.
She's traumatized. Yeah, like, please make it stop.
She
Make it
looking,
stop.
yeah, get off my daddy. But I just thought it'd be kind of cool if one of these dragons just pulled up like a bunch of rocks and just like. I do think that tonight's episode could have benefited from. I mean, there's one thing to say it's an hour and that's tight. Do you think it could have benefited from being an hour and a half, maybe?
Oh, for sure. I think all of them can. I know the first 2 are about normal length, but the last 4 are supposed to be like feature length.
Feature
Yeah,
length?
like hour and 20 minminimum. Is what I've heard.
Hour 20. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I thought
That's
you
a
thought-
short feature, not like 2 hours.
Okay, I'm thinking about like hour and 40 or something like that. Sansa is really bothering me. She bothered me near the end of last season and up until now. Last time I really liked her is when she watched old boy get eaten up.
Bolton, Ramsey.
Ramsey Bolton, yeah, because she was me. You know, that guy was so horrible that I enjoyed how cold she was watching him getting eaten alive by his own dogs that he used to murder people. But I think that now, and maybe this is on purpose, I think that now she is becoming a little too hardened, a little too cold.
Frigid.
Yeah, and I just don't like the way I know that she's been through a lot, but Tyrion has always kind of been there on her side.
Always kind.
Always kind to her, been on her side, and she still is giving him some goddamn disrespect, man.
Right.
You know, I feel like she still just kind of blows him off because I just hate all you Lannisters.
Didn't apologize for the whole, like, I got framed for the murder of my nephew and because of you, and then you just fled. She didn't even apologize for it. man.
No, she just, well, I mean, at the same time, she said, hey, look, you know what this is. We all survived.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, everybody got to look out for themselves. You made it. I made it. What more do we need to say?
Although they should just, just put all this petty shit behind. It's like, you're telling me the Lannisters are coming back here? Do you realize that the entire event of this show started with our beef between our houses? You know, so yeah.
There were theories going around there. We kind of knew it ahead of time. Jon Snow's Targaryen descendant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's a rightful heir to the throne. Okay, now forgive me for my ignorance right here because I'm not, I'm going off here on something I'm trying to make connections with and I might be wrong. Does that mean that they are actually brother and sister?
No, that's his aunt.
Okay, so they are related.
They're
then.
related, but that's his aunt. Yeah, it doesn't make it that much better, but a little bit.
Okay, like when you have sex with your cousin, that's cool. Anybody?
Is it?
Anybody?
I thought you were making a declarative statement. I was like, oh shit. Well,
Who was with me, right?
they're liberal as in Austin, man. Well, that's the Targaryen way. If you remember, like they used to, that's what Cersei would use as her excuse to fuck Jamie all the time. It's like, well, the Targaryens did this for generations. So this is just kind of a return.
That I did not know. I think they could be like, oh, okay, well, we can get through this. That's cool. We'll get used to it. But it's the power struggle, right?
That's going to be the big problem. There's a great line where it's like, you gave up your crown to save your people. Would she do the same? And I think that that's the crux of it. And so far, like they've always made such a big mention about like all of her crew. They're like, we follow her voluntarily, not just because she has a rightful claim, but because like we think she's worthy to lead. This will be that first test. And we've seen her be like a homicidal, like, I'm going to burn this mother just because I can.
Yeah.
And I think that's a scary thing. It's like probably the biggest question that the premiere poses.
Yeah. Been theories about her probably being the villain because of the flip of the power dynamic. You think that might be something that could happen?
We were always thinking that Dany would stay like noble, but then die, and then Jon would have to become the Dragon Rider, like take over that way. That is way more interesting. What you just said to me, man.
I wish I came up with it.
Oh, no?
I've read this. I've read this. This has been a theory that's been going around for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I never heard that. But here's the thing: they've said so many times last season, I can't get pregnant. So I think, listen, something's gonna happen. I don't know how she's gonna die, but to me, I think she might die through giving birth in some weird way. After everything's said and done.
Well, think
That
about
Dany
that.
will die through giving birth.
That Dany will die
Think
through
about how
giving
pretty
birth.
that is,
Yeah.
considering Jon's parents. You know what I mean? And like how the whole story got started, and then she died in birth.
Some of them going to be an hour and 20. Is I imagine that can be a concern for some people because we did, and it's a valid concern because we did see some, particularly season 7, that was That was noticeably rushed,
Right.
to a fault. I'm on to the point it was bad.
To the point where it took a show that I think could have been in the top 5, top 10 conversation, certainly, and then made it a little like, oh, man. Because it went from something that constantly subverted your expectations. And as Martin said, I won't take credit for this, the only expectation it subverted was the fact that it didn't subvert shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of the problem with it.
Yeah. This was the episode of mean mugging, man, staring people down.
Yeah.
Between my favorite ones were Arya looking at the helm.
Oh.
Can I just tell you one of my favorite scenes
Yeah.
was just the opening. I thought the intro was really brilliant because it's a real emotional roller coaster for Arya, isn't it? Like she sees Jon and she wants to say something, but she can't quite do it. The last time she saw him was season 1, episode 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then she sees Gendry and she sees the Hound and she's like, oh, that motherfucker. He's off my list, but I still don't like him that much. And then she sees Gendry. Like, it's this real emotional roller coaster.
No,
for her.
that is my favorite thing. And they had looks that set up everything.
Right.
Bran sitting up there. Yeah, bitch, I'm still here. that was great. And that dragon stare, but the way they set up. That's I don't know if that was probably my favorite shot right there, the way they closed it with Jamie looking at Bran.
great.
But I think that they were, that's my favorite right there because not only does that Bran, that's my favorite shot because Bran, of course, he's speaking for, well, like you said, he's not really human anymore, so it's really hard to tell if he's going to do anything to be, to get vengeance on him.
Right.
But his look was a metaphor for the way everybody's going to be looking at him. Jamie has the odds against him, and that's the way that's it's not like some huge manipulative climax that was set up that we get used to with Game of Thrones.
Think about who Jamie is and what he's gone through. Like the last time he was in Winterfell, he was a righteous asshole, and he probably deserves every bad thing to happen to him. But now, like through this arc that he's had, he's like a redeemed person.
We saw him murder a kid, or try to. We saw him murder people to survive. We saw him do a lot of things, and finally he came around. We know the whole theme of a lot of things is people change. Right. Does Jamie Lannister, knowing that, because now it sounds like we're rooting for him, knowing that the odds are against him, does he deserve our sympathy?
He deserves our sympathy because he spent his entire life being called the man without honor and like the Kingslayer, and that's that might have been the only honorable thing this guy did his entire life was save the world from the Mad King.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's just like now he's gone through all this shit, and you're right. He tried to kill a kid, killed one of his own distant cousins or something to escape. Like,
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
And so I mean, I think it's one of those things where like. I think his fate is sealed. I don't think Jamie gets out of this, but I think that maybe he can get some honor in the process.
If we go by the theory of Jamie kills Cersei,
and
but then he
the
gets
Queen
his
Slayer.
too. Yeah, the Queen. Yeah. Well, he's come full circle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the great tragedy is that again it'll be the most honorable thing he could do, but he'll go down in the history books as this great coward who slayed.
And if that's the case, he'll have to live with that. He can't die.
See, that would be the punishment for him. You're right.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that. But there's also lots of things tying Cersei and Jamie together too, saying like we both came into this world, we're both gonna go out.
Like right now, 1 episode in, we got 5 episodes left. Who's sitting on the throne when it's all said and done?
I can't even say.
You don't want to take an educated guess?
I can't even say. You know what? If I was to be bold, if I was to just go crazy, and I don't think that's gonna happen, but if I was to make a bold statement
Let's hear it.
that would make people mad, Cersei.
Right. See, like they've said this is like, again, what's the thing? What's one of the Ramsay's most famous lines? If you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that would be the like perfect encapsulation of this show.
But what if it's a bittersweet ending? She takes the throne, but she ends up, like, maybe in sort of dictator fashion, but she ends up bringing order.
Right. Making the case for Nazism is what you're doing. Not what you're doing specifically, but that's the idea of like.
No,
like Martin.
But we see here like these people can't get together to even defeat, this huge threat.
They're all supposed to be on the same side and they can't get together.
Yeah.
So how are you going to add Cersei into it, right?
Yeah, but then again, talking about how Cersei can't be trusted. What if Cersei is the one that actually pulls through and she's just kind of like, all right, now you mother kneel.
And you know what?
She
As
would earn
crazy as that is, I really like that. But what I think is going to happen, I don't think there's going to be no Iron Throne. I think all that shit is just scrapped. I think all of it is scrapped after the events of just what's going to happen.
You
Okay.
think people
Yeah.
realize they don't need like royalty at all?
Well, to be honest with
we
you,
could
I
just
think
live.
only really like 5 or 10 people make it out. You know, like I think a lot of people are just gonna get wiped out from this.
Okay.
What would you do if like everyone in the North perishes and the final shot is Cersei on the throne, and then they just like pan out and you see the army of the undead like approaching King's Landing, and that's it?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
No, hell no. It's like some Blumhouse movie.
Yeah.
I don't even want to think like that.
I'm just saying,
Now
man.
people will be mad. They got to give people something to walk away with from
Yeah.
Well, you don't see it, but you know what happens. You know, but you don't know.
I don't know. I think
Hodor.
Yeah, Hodor, right? Yeah. He comes back. Well, I think because Jon has just been reluctantly put in these positions he doesn't want, that maybe he comes out on top. But I also think that's also a little cheesy too. Right. The guy who doesn't want to become the king becomes the king.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
like, so I don't know, but I don't really see anyone else like really taking it. So
I would like it to be something like it would be kind of a combination of your thing where like the wheel's broken. There's no claims anymore because all them motherfuckers are dead, right?
Yeah.
So it's got to be someone like, and I told you this, I would love if like Varys somehow did it, because Varys from day one was like, I'm about the realm. I just want to do what's best for everybody else, and if
Yeah.
everyone else is dead, it's like, all right, yeah, like Varys and Tyrion run this shit somehow. You know what I mean?
That would be fun as hell if little Tyrion's up on that big throne.
there you go.
They would get a smaller throne, Corey. Come on.
He's sitting on the throne with his legs
Dangling.
dangling.
They get him a little step ladder, man. It's okay. It's
like
That's
a-
a hard thing to scale.
It's a throne the size of like a training toilet or something.
Oh no.
There's a theory that Littlefinger, because he died last year, he got bested by some
Yeah.
Stark teens or whatever. There's this really specific theory that says that he knew he was going to be killed, and there's some credence to it if you like rewatch it. You're like, oh shit, I can maybe believe this. That he knew he was going to be killed, so he's got family from Bravos back in the day. He's familiar with the Faceless Men. You see him giving a coin to some nameless like maiden in Winterfell, and it looks just like the coin that Arya gave to get to Bravos to begin with. And so basically he switched out, and then the person who died as Littlefinger isn't really Littlefinger. It's someone else who he paid to have his face, and he really secretly is alive the whole time. And that would make sense only in as much that, like, think about how this whole damn story got started. It was because this guy convinced Liza to kill Jon Arryn. Like, the hand of the king went down, and the entire story gets put into play. That with Bran falling out of the tower as well. And here's what I would tell you is, like, this cockroach comes out at the end. That is the best bittersweet ending ever, man. It's like Gertz, man.
I celebrate you and everything you do for us, and I will celebrate if you hit that subscribe button. And also check out our main site, doubletoasted.com. Over there you'll find a long-form version of this video, along with the live streams that we do almost every night of the week. Support us at youtube.com, and remember to always